On this sample, I've drawn a semicircle. I've drawn it freehand, but I've drawn it neatly so it turns out to be a semicircle. And we are going to sew this edge. And when you're sewing a semicircle, you want your stitch length to be 2.5 or less. It won't ever be more than 2.5. So you will want to set your machine at 2.0 or 2. And remember curves that you're sewing slower. You are going to backstitch where you start. And then also remember that you don't want to force your fabric around. So you're going to stop, you're going to raise your presser foot, and then you're going to keep sewing. So I'm going to follow my line and I will stop, raise my presser foot, and sew. And I'm sewing with a much shorter stitch length. Do not force your fabric and just follow your line. And remember, when you get to the end, you will want to back stitch as well. So you want to sew to the edge. You can sew to the edge of fabric and then you back stitch. And it goes back and it goes forward. After you've sewn that circle, I want you to cut away 1/4 inch from your sewn line. If you do not know what 1/4 inch looks like, draw 1/4 inch from that sewn line and trim away the excess so that you have this edge that is turned. If this is in a garment, it could be a sleeve, this edge would be pressed, but because it's not just going to live neatly inside here, there's too much fabric to live inside, you might have to, depending on the angle and how much curve, you have to take excess fabric from this edge. So the way you trim back a curve that goes inwards versus a curve that goes outwards is you take excess away along the curve by cutting away what are called little notches. And I'm going to cut one here. You cut up to, but not into your sewn line. And this is how you remove excess fabric so that when you have to turn it right side out, this is the back side of a pattern, when you turn it right side out, it'll all fit nicely inside and not have too much bulk in the seam. So you would cut away and then you would press this open. I'm not looking for us to press it right now. I'm just really looking for us to have the method and the knowledge of how you would do it. But this is then how it would look from the front side, all nice and pressed, and you would make sure that this the press goes right up to your sewn line so that you don't see one side or the other. But that is how you will do this curved edge. Okay, so you're going to draw this semicircle, you're going to sew along the semicircle, you are going to then trim a couple of notches so that I can see that you understand. And again, remember, you trimming away, and here's one of the little triangles that I cut away. You are cutting away little triangles, but do not cut into the line that you stitched. You stop about a 1/16 of an inch away from that line. You do not want to touch that line. You go next to it, but don't go right on top of it. Once you snip that line, you now have a hole in your garment. So you are going to do a sample of this line, and you're going to cut it away and trim the curve away from that semicircle.